Hi, I'm Carlos, and with Diana, Albertina, and Teresa, we have made this presentation that on the broader side talks about entrepreneurship in higher education. And more precise approach, it talks about the initial validation study of the SEQS for higher education, of a scale for measuring entrepreneurship vocation, let's say. So, let's see. Measuring the entrepreneurship construct. We will be based on the ENTRECOMP, the Entrepreneurship Competence Framework. The competences areas are ideas and opportunities, resources, and into action, so to say. We also will talk about blocks of entrepreneurship as a competence and the 15 competences that make the scale along an 8-level progression model. The learning outcomes are also considered in this scale, which offers inspiration and insight for those designing interventions from different educational contexts and domains of application. The pilot study that we have done to develop an instrument based on ENTRECOMP questionnaire for students in this case, which we called SEQS. So the pilot study focus on the ENTRECOMP, the Entrepreneurship Competence Framework 2016, considering the 15 items of the intermediate level of proficiency. So from all that is offered from ENTRECOMP, we have take the intermediate level and try to make a scale out of it. We apply the Likert scale, going from 1, completely disagree, 2, disagree, 3, neither agree nor disagree, and 4, agree, and of course 5, completely agree. This seems very functional to apply to the scale we want to develop. And here you have it, the entrepreneurship perception scale based on the intermediate level of ENTRECOMP. You can see that there are several statements and that the respondents should situate themselves in the Likert scale. For instance, I am able to build an inspiring vision that engages others. And they would say, if more or less they are able to do it, I can test and refine ideas that create value, which is a very important competence for entrepreneurship. And they once again situate themselves in the line of the Likert scale. I recognize opportunities to address needs that have not been met. Another entrepreneurship challenge, and they can situate themselves in the Likert scale. I understand that the value of ideas depends on its applicability. It's very important to refer to applicability, as usefulness is one of the criteria to assess if a project is viable. and it's interesting, and it's and it is worthy to be developed. I am driven by ethics and sustainability when making decisions. So this adds another dimension for being entrepreneurship. It is not just about creating profit enterprises and projects. You also have to deal with the conditions, the ethical conditions, the ethics, and the sustainability conditions. I can make the most of my strengths and weakness, which is important, of course. 7. I am willing to put effort and resources into following what enthusiasms me and create value. So what enthusiasms me and create value. I am able to find funding options and manage a budget for a value creating activity. Here we are also dealing with concrete aspects of being an entrepreneur. You can find the budget, you can manage the budget. So otherwise you could have a good idea, but you will never get to put this idea in practice. The last items of the scale: I am able to persuade, involve and inspire others in value creating activities. To be an entrepreneur nowadays is to be able to be a leader, but a leader that can motivate others, not a chief, but a leader that has a vision, that understands the mission, the values that support it, and that can communicate all this to those that are making a team with him to get the project ahead. I can initiate value creating activities. That it is initiative. I can create an action plan which identifies the priorities and milestones to achieve my goals. This is important to plan. To plan what you are going to do. But it is also important that this planning is open to your collaborators. So you do this in a collaborative way. I can evaluate the benefits and risks of alternative options and make choices that reflect my preferences. So it's very important that you be focused in considering the benefits but also the risks. And you know, we are in the age of risk. There is no such thing as a project without risks. You should be willing, open to take risks, but you should take realistic risks, acceptable risks. Well, you should balance the benefits and the risks to decide if the project is worthy to advance. I know how to work together with a wide range of individuals and groups to create value. This is another reference to the importance of teamwork, collaborative work. And of course, the respondents must situate themselves in the Likert scale, as for every other items I have been reading. I am able to reflect and judge my achievements and failures and learn from them, from the mistakes. This is a very important competence, characteristic, to learn from our own mistakes, to learn from the mistakes of the group, of the teamwork, to accept mistakes as part of life, as part of entrepreneurship, of course, and to use them, I mean the mistakes, as a basis to go further, to change direction, to reinvent your project. The pilot study procedure. We have seen the scale. I think we all understand the scale now. The encompassing of the scale, but we have to validate this scale. So during the month of April 2021, we contacted 25 higher education students, namely from the University of Coimbra, and from different faculties of this university, to obtain a more varied sample. We also contact 5 students from the Polytechnic Institute of Coimbra. The inclusion criteria for the study were defined as being higher education students, regardless of the study cycle. The pilot study, the participants, 17 participants, as to gender, 11 females, 4 males. 2 participants did not answer this question. As to the age, 19, one participant was 19, 7 participants 20 years old, of course, 4 participants 21 years old, and 5 participants were 22 years old. As you see, we have a very homogenic sample. The university is the University of Coimbra. We can say that 16 participants were from this university and only 1 participant from the Coimbra Business School, ISCAC. The school level was undergraduate, 13 participants, and 4 participants from master. Let's look now at the results, some descriptive analysis of the items and fidelity. Corresponding to 17 cases, to 17 valid cases and none excluded, which means that all participants answered all items and we obtained an overall value of alpha 0.849. Considering that the general rule dictates that the value of 0.70 and above is acceptable, 0.80 and above is good, 0.90 and above is excellent. We can say so that SEQS evidence in this first study with a small sample size has a good overall level of reliability. Here we have the results for all the items. All the items show moderate or high correlations, except for the item Entcomp 4, which shows a weak correlation, although the alpha values, in each case item is excluded, are all above alpha 0.8, which points to a good reliability of the SEQS scale measuring entrepreneurship for students. So, to be simple, we have a problem with one item, and everything else we have good good results of reliability. The qualitative results that we have obtained based on the participants' comments, which are also very important to take in consideration if you want to improve your scale. Relevant, well-ordered and clear questions, easy to understand and quick to answer, they say, some of them. Accessible questionnaire, both in terms of language and the number of questions. Questions as a good way of introspection and self-knowledge. The time that is expected, 8 minutes, corresponds to the time needed. The item response scale is the most suitable, since it allows to express opinions in a more diverse way. Translated, well, from deepl.com, we give them the rights. The royalties are free. Pilot study discussion now. Cross-referencing the qualitative and the quantitative data obtained in the present pretest of the items, we assume that the initial validation study allowed us to obtain results that point to an instrument suitable for use in studies on the perception of entrepreneurship. Although it needs further validation studies in order to more robustly verify its psychometric characteristics. Now, thank you for listening. Hope to have been of some assistance, useful for your interests, and in my name, Carlos, Diana, Albertine and Teresa, we wish you the best. Thank you.